Testing, 1, 2, 3. This Republic notice is gun contractors illegal, not guns. This Republic notice is gun contractors illegal, not guns. Okay, now that the pristine Sandy Hook and the little safety net of so secure bastions of parts of New England, America, let the Sandy Hook and the Sandy Storm be the warning. Because Sandy is an acronym. And if you buy the decree, you'll understand what it's the acronym for. It's an acronym. It's a code. But gun contractors are illegal, not guns. Guns in America is a Second Amendment right. It has been a Second Amendment right, and it has been a right non-consented since 1866. Because when Black Americans received national civil rights, they inherited it as non-consenters. Because 3/5 couldn't consent to the 1866 civil rights. They inherited it as non-consenters. Okay, they inherited. That means they inherited national personhood, national rights of jurisdiction as non-consenters in all 50 states and in all jurisdictions. And it was constitutionalized in 1868. Okay, so that means that the guns that Dred Scott, the winner, don't buy the propaganda that he was a loser. He was smart. He went through this white woman who wanted to hold him into bondage, and he fought her for 10 years. And he fought because he wanted it on Supreme Court record that he had no legal rights. No legal rights, that is, to consent. Therefore, when he inherited his 1866 civil rights, which came with the Second Amendment and all the amendments, they became non-consented because now we had a legal contractor. A legal contractor. And this is before any U.S. corporation or any other, in corporate doctrine and all that BS later on. Okay? And then it was constitutionalized. So now they got a legal constitution, a non-consenter. So that's constitutional non-consent legality, which protects all the Bill of Rights, which protects the Monroe Doctrine. The Monroe Doctrine says that there is no foreign contractor that supremes this Constitution. So no foreign contractor have any rights to this Constitution or any access to this Constitution, either in South America, North America, New England, or nowhere else. The Monroe Doctrine also became non-consented and protected, which means it can't be tampered with. The Monroe Doctrine cannot be tampered with, and neither can the Bill of Rights. They are protected by Black Americans. So our constitutional writers and Reconstruction and the Most High Administration knew what they was doing. They was making sure that when it go down, their blood was protected. They didn't spill their blood for heathens. They killed a lot of heathens. So you had white men who stood on God's side that killed heathens. And they wasn't going to spill their blood for heathen. It was more than 700,000 blood shed during the Civil War. And that Civil War was to seal this contract. So it's BS that this contract belongs to the world and anybody in America. That blood was to seal it, and it is sealed in blood, and it is cosmically Fort Knox, which means the Second Amendment is cosmically Fort Knoxed, and blacks are the whole power over the Second Amendment. Which means the Second Amendment was used to make sure blacks came out of chattel slavery. Therefore, it is a sacred amendment. It is a sacred amendment. It is a God-given amendment. And just because people who are foreign and corporate abuse it does not mean that it can be tampered with, because by supreme contract, it cannot be tampered with. It is non-consented, jurisdictive, constitutional, private property, just like the gun. So all you have in this country is a whole bunch of corporate doctrine immigrants that are illegal contractors. So when they do this check and stuff, to check to see if you got ownership, their failure is the failure to check and see whether you're a constitutional citizen, not whether or not you got a record. See, because they use their corporate doctrine contracts to put constitutional citizens in false imprisonment, then saying they got a felony for just trying to live on their own wealth and land, and they charge constitutional citizens with armed robbery just for trying to take what's theirs. No, these foreign cops in blue uniforms of Irish and Italian is the first illegal contractors. I think you better start with them if you want gun control. And the way you start with them is any foreign cop of Italian and Irish, like in New York, when they start slipping and start shooting constitutional sovereignty like they did Sean Bell, then that whole police district pensions must be seized. I don't care whether or not you keep working. We're going to seize your pensions at the top constitutionally. That's how we will address that you are a legal contractor. You have no rights to bear arms in this country because you have no 14th Amendment rights. 14th Amendment rights been non-consented. God knew what he was doing putting blacks in the Constitution. And so did our constitutional writers. Y'all try to pretend our constitutional writers is the dumbest people on earth. No, they were biblical scholars and they God men, and they didn't F with heathens because they didn't care that you had white skin like theirs. If you was a heathen, they wasn't wasting their blood on you. They ain't waste their blood on no heathen. They spilled their blood because they're going to be part of the resurrection. They're going to rise with you, the baby. They're going to rise with the God. They're Eve from adopted sons of God Almighty and adopted the sons of Jacob. But your Irish imports and your Italian imports and Mayor Bloomberg talking all this gun control, you start Mayor Bloomberg with your own police force. That if y'all kill Sean Bell, you better start with the gun control of taking all their pensions for murder. Taking all their pensions, because I'm telling you now, it's a preemptive constitutional lien on any police district that killed any of my bridal womb sons. If you kill any of my bridal room sons, I'm charging that whole police district their pensions by supreme contract. And right now, your Dracon Masters is falling. So there, and my son is on earth. My Lord's son is born. King Emmanuel is born. And I'm telling you now, I'm charging you your constitutional pensions. And guess what? So you can go head on with that gun on your hip because you're working for nothing. In the future, you won't have no retirement. If you killed my son, Sean Bell, and you killed any of my sons in any of these police districts, I am charging that whole police district your retirement, Jack. You better prepare to tell your children to wipe your dirty ass in their homes because you won't have anything for a nursing home, okay? Now, listen to this further. I'm telling you now, guns are the right of black Americans. So I suggest right now that it comes from the State Department and National Security that that these police districts who will not majority have pensions in the future, so they working for nothing. Go ahead and get your little salaries because we're going to own all your property, and we own it preemptively by supreme contract, including the one that shot at my bridal chamber son, Mamiya. You think you're going to get away with that? His wife? You came on Mamiya land. You shot at Mamiya, okay? And then friendly fire took your man out. That was the karma of the viciousness, okay? Now, this is the story here. I say that in Chicago and the big cities and all that, you move your corporate doctrine inferior contracts out of the way. This is Judah wealth. I'm tired of y'all thinking Judah wealth is just for white people to walk around in uniforms in illegal contracts and guns. Okay? In illegal contracts. See, the contracts is illegal. The guns are never legal. The contracts are illegal. The contractors holding the gun are illegal. That means the walking on two legs are illegal. You're walking on two legs illegally in blue uniforms, shooting my bridal chamber children. You're the illegal ones. See, you got to deal with that nastiness first. See, and if this nastiness ain't dealt with, don't come talking about my bridal chamber children trying to give up their gun rights, because they got a constitutional preemptive nullifier saying you have no contract equal to theirs to tell them to give up anything. To tell them get rid of anything. But on the other hand, we have the supreme contract to tell you Irish and Italian immigrants that's been practicing tyranny against us, you are the first illegal contractors with guns in your pocket. You're the illegal ones. The guns are not illegal, but you're illegal having them on someone else's soil and birthrights that you are nullified from having any rights to. And the other priority is, it's time, and it is past time, to hire black women as police force in Chicago, in Philadelphia, in Detroit. It's time for black women to become the police force to protect their communities, protect their children, to learn to go ahead and deal with the firearms and put more protection in that community. And to be not only the security of their communities, but the mainstay of their communities. Women are waking up all over the world. All over the world. We cannot be oppressed as constitutional supremacy clause. Everybody in the world needs our wealth. And they on my titty, okay? They on my titty. It's time for my children to get the milk from my titty and move you and corporate doctrines out the way. Because Bloomberg, you better understand and you better produce a contract that supremes my constitution before you start talking about taking any gun right from my children. You start with your police force and you better make them know they on watch now. And if they shoot any more of my bridal chamber children, their pensions are preemptively nullified already. And all we got to do is assert that. And right now, you may think you got the advantage, but your Dracon Masters is falling, okay? And God's army is here. So you just got a little time to tarry in your tyranny. This is Mary Omni from the House of King David. Guns is not the problem. Illegal contractors who want to use them to trample the Constitution and God's holy covenant is the problem. And a uniform don't change that. A blue uniform don't change that. It makes them stand out as the legal ones on this soil trying to control wealth by armed robbery that's not theirs. Shalom.